Welcome everyone to the eMedica AKT Pass Guarantee Program. This is the orientation for the 90-day program for the July 2025 exam. So let me explain how it all works. I'll do an introduction for myself, the rest of the team, and then we'll talk about how does the whole program work. If you've got any questions, we're here to address those. Okay, so really this is an introduction session to allow you to meet the team, understand how the program works, how do you complete your daily tasks, how do you submit your weekly tasks, ask any questions that you want to ask before we get started later this week. So use the chat to ask any comments or discussion. If you've got a question that you'd like myself or the faculty to deal with, please use the Q&A for that. Okay. Before we get into that, just a reminder that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's attributed to a famous Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu. And this was in your welcome pack for those that have already got this. Those of you that signed up very recently, your welcome packs are on their way to you. Another batch got posted today. But it's actually really, really important because the size of the curriculum and the amount of work that needs to be done to get through the AKT is so large, it can seem like a journey of 1,000 miles. And for a lot of people, that's so overwhelming, they just don't know where to start. You can spend a lot of time just putting it off because it seems so much. But well done on taking that first single step to join a structured guided program like this. And I want to thank you for trusting our team. And it's a huge step. The good thing now is you don't need to worry about what do you need to study. You just need to do the work. Remember that a journey of 1,000 miles, while it begins with a single step, it's still 1,000 miles long. We've got a lot of work between now and the exam. It's a really tough program. But what you don't need to worry about is what should I study and when should I study it. We've already done all of that for you. It's structured. All you need to do is just focus on one step at a time. So today we haven't even started. We're here. Okay, when the first email hits on the 10th, all you need to do is worry about the work in that email. Don't worry about when will I cover this topic and that topic or how will I, you will do it. Just focus on one step at a time and we will help you get there, okay? So it's still 1,000 miles though. So it's still hard work and that's really, really important. But well done on taking that first step, okay? So let me just introduce myself and give you a chance to meet the rest of the team that you'll hear from or work with throughout the session. So my name is Muhibur Rahman. I'm a portfolio GP and the medical director of eMedica. So I work in Birmingham and Solihull. I partner in my own practice. I cover 2 community detox units. I work as a locum in various NHS practices, but most of my time now is spent in medical education. As well as eMedica, I'm a consultant in medical education. I advise various other organizations. I work with various deaneries to help their trainees to get through membership and guide people on GP careers. So I did my GP training in Neath, Port Talbot. Anyone in from Wales today? So that's in South Wales. I lived in Swansea, but I was working in Neath and in Port Talbot. I did some sessions in Bridgend as well. And I passed my MRCGP with merit back in 2007, got FRCGP in 2019 for my work in medical education and humanitarian medicine. I've been writing about MRCGP preparation and helping people get through MRCGP for over 20 years now. I'm also one of the authors for the prescribing safety assessment. I'm an examiner for Liverpool Medical School. I was an examiner and invigilator for the GMC, and I sit on the NICE GP reference panel. 2 core members of the team that will be faculty at various of the live sessions, but also very much involved in developing the program, the learning materials. We have Masuda Rahman, part of the core eMedica team. She's director of e-learning. She will be faculty on a lot of the courses. And Anna Greathead, who again, core eMedica faculty and member of the e-learning team. She's also the main admin for the WhatsApp group. So each cohort, so your specific cohort, the 90-day program for July, there's a WhatsApp group that you'll get an invitation to when the program starts. Anna will be the admin for that group, and she's also the learning mentor and there to support you throughout this journey. Okay, so other members of the team that you're going to meet later on, or you might get an email from at one point or another, Selina Begum, Tuba Jamil, Jubaida Khatun, Rabia Hussein, Laura Smith, Rebecca Begum. So different people that, make sure that everything works, that you're registered for the right sessions, that you get access to the post-course learning, that process the recording so that you have access to all of these things. Okay, so there's lots of different members of the team, and we're all here to work with you to help you, to support you all the way to pass your exam. Okay, so before I get into how it works, let me just hand over to Anna, and she's going to just say a couple of words. I'm just going to stop my share for a minute.
Okay.
There we go.
Hi everyone. It's really good to be always excited at the beginning of a new program. I'm looking forward to working with you all. I've been doing this now for a couple of dozen cohorts. We've sort of run this program and been supporting you in this way. And I just wanted at this juncture, with this vast amount of experience, to offer you just a little bit of advice based on what I've observed so far. First of all, this is a really intense program, and you really do need to commit to it because it's not something you can put down and catch up again easily. If you fall behind, actually catching up is really, really difficult and really intensive and not good for your learning either. So I know that it's going to be difficult for you, and I know that you're all busy. You've all got busy jobs and busy lives generally, but do commit to it and do think, okay, I'm tired, but I am going to do those questions. And I really would just like to, scroll on my phone for a bit, but I will look at the case card and, and that sort of thing, just so that you keep up with the program. It's just for 3 months and the rewards are vast. And the second thing is be organized. And this will really help you with the first thing is you'll maximize your time if you're organized. Lots of people sometimes will think, there's a thing I wanted to look at again and I can't find where it is, or oh, my email's gone into spam. There's lots of things like that, which actually, if you're just really organized at the beginning, so you know where things are and where they're supposed to go, you'll actually find that you save yourself several hours a week of the stress of trying to find the things that you need to find. So, get your files in order on your computer. Make sure that your emails are going into one specific place, so that you always have everything you need. And the final thing, and maybe the most important, and Dr. Arman will talk about this as well, is trust the process. Um, at the beginning of this program, you are just learning, you're still learning the things that you need to know to pass the AKT. So you will find that sometimes the scores you get are not the scores that you are used to getting, and certainly not the scores that you are wanting to get. However, this is because you are learning. The program really does, it's challenging and demanding, and we don't expect you to be getting really good scores at the beginning. Um, but it will build. Every time you get a question wrong, you've got an opportunity to build your knowledge. Every time you misunderstand something because you haven't read it properly, you've got a chance to really hone your technique. And all of this will contribute to you smashing the exam in the middle of July. I'm looking forward to working with you, and I'll see you in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, thanks very much, Anna. Okay, great. Let me share my screen again. So let me explain how the program works. So every morning from the 10th onwards, at 5 o'clock in the morning, you're going to get an email from me. Within that email, there will be links to a question of the day with associated reading, a set of online revision questions if it's a weekday, 2 sets if it's a weekend, some daily reading tasks. And then there'll also be information about the weekly task. Now, the daily task must be done before the next email hits. You've got 24 hours. Before the next email, you've got to get all of the daily stuff done. The weekly task, on that first one, there'll be a whole load of different things. You don't have to do them all on the first day. There'll be a deadline written, and the daily tasks automatically get sent to us. The weekly task, you need to upload, you need to submit. So I'll show you how that works. And each week, the weekly task is different. So sometimes we'll, have curated some videos, things that we've either delivered ourselves and recorded or had produced for us or have sourced. Okay. So there might be, some important learning, and then there will be some questions to do to make sure that you've locked that learning in. Sometimes there'll be research exercises that are going to help you to really learn a topic inside out, to learn it in depth. Sometimes it'd be doing some online revision questions from a different source, the RCGP self-test. Sometimes it'd be RCGP knowledge challenges. So various different types of learning to reinforce the key sort of topics that you need to learn and to work on your exam technique. So one of the things that I want you to do is track your process, track your progress, and enjoy the little wins. It's a long journey. Take every single little bit that you succeed at and sort of feel good about it. So you've got your daily progress tracker, which is on the reverse of that postcard, which has that journey of 1,000 miles picture. Okay, it's in your welcome pack. Stick this somewhere near where you're going to study, near where you're going to see it every day. And when you finish all of the daily tasks in an email, tick it off. So at the beginning, you've got a whole lot of empty boxes there. But when you finished all of the daily tasks from email number 1, you tick it off. When you get to the bottom of this, you think, what, I'm making some progress here. When you get here, you're like, I'm halfway through the program now. When you get to the bottom of this, you think, I'm now in that home stretch. We're nearly there. We're last few weeks to go. But when you get here and all of this is ticked off, it's going to really make you sort of feel good about your learning. It's going to give you confidence. Similarly, the curriculum checklist. Okay, it's 36 pages, A5. Again, the printed version is in your welcome box. Whenever you've covered a topic and you feel I've learned it, tick it off. We split it into clinical, stats, admin. So, early on, the whole thing's empty, no ticks. After a couple of weeks, you've got a few ticks. Not many, but you've got a few. Another few weeks, you've got a few more scattered ticks. Halfway through, a lot of things are ticked through. When you get towards the end, nearly everything. The evening before the exam, you're going to look at this, everything's ticked. You're going to look at this, there's 600 odd topics, every single one's ticked off. It's going to give you such a confidence boost knowing I've done it. I've done the work. I know this. I will pass. You're going to go in knowing you've done the work, that you've learned the material that you need to learn. And that's going to really, really help you going into the exam. Okay. So let me show you a really important part of every email that we send you. It's called the resources page. So whenever we have a live session like this, a link to the recording of it will be in this resources page. So this green box is at the bottom of every email that I will send you every day for the 90 days from when we start on the 10th up until the day before the exam. Okay, so if you ever want to see a recording, you just need to click this, log in, and you'll see it's all there. Okay, but there's also other things on there. There's links to things like an online version of that curriculum checklist, okay? The timetable, so you know what to expect when are we going to do the mock exams, when are the live sessions. All of this is in your welcome box, but you can also download the program. And like when you first go there, it's going to be blank. It's going to just have these things. There'll be no videos. But you'll see then the orientation will appear after it's processed. After with the first high yield webinar, which is in about a week's time, you'll see a link like this. And when you click it, you'll be able to watch the recording. When you click this, you'll be able to download the teaching slides. After the second one, which will happen a few weeks later, again, you'll be able to click it. Every time there's a live session, when you click the resource page, as soon as it's processed, which takes a few days after the live session for us to edit the videos and process it, it will just appear like magic, okay? So that's a really important page to be familiar with. It's how you're going to revise and look over these materials again and again. So let me show you how you work through the daily tasks and how you submit the weekly tasks. Just before that, there's something really important. At the bottom of every email I send you, underneath the resources page is our logo. Beyond that, I have to, as part of good email guardianship and data protection, we have to offer you the opportunity that if you don't want to receive emails from us, we have to make it easy for people to unsubscribe. So that this is one of the reasons why we have a good reputation with the email provider, so that our email doesn't end up in the spam box. But if you click this box, this link here, or this one here, the one-click unsubscribe, you will stop getting emails from us. We won't know that you've unsubscribed, and we won't be able to resubscribe you unless you contact us and let us know. Now, if you do it by accident once, let us know. As soon as you do, we'll put you back on the list. If you do it a couple of times, one of the things that can happen is your email provider can say, this is a bit dodgy. This person has unsubscribed from this particular list, because every time we send an email, in the header, in the code in the email, there's reputation management. Like it says exactly who has it come from. It comes from Email Education. Okay. So it would be like, oh, they've unsubscribed and they've been re-added back in very soon after. That sounds spammy. And they might block you from receiving any emails from us, even if you want to, and even if we want to add you, we might not be able to, in which case you'll have to change your email. Okay. So to save that, please don't click these links to unsubscribe. All right. Unless you genuinely don't want to get emails anymore from us. So let me show you how the emails work. So you'll get the welcome email the day before we start. So on the 9th, and all that will have is a link to watch the orientation video on our YouTube channel, a link to join the WhatsApp group. We can't add you. Again, for data protection, you have to add yourself, okay? Reminder of the next live session. So the first live session after this is the 17th April, 8 till 9. Then we've got one at the end of the month. And then a link to the resources page. So again, when you click that, it will take you to your resources page, okay? If I show you email 2, second, okay. So day 1 email, this is when it actually starts on the 10th. This is how you do the work, okay? So again, there'll be one more chance to join the WhatsApp group and a link to the orientation. After the first day one email, these won't be there anymore, okay? But this is where the actual work starts. So there'll be a question of the day. Whenever you do a question, please enter your registered email. Use the same one throughout the program so we can track your progress. I'm going to put the eMedicate email here. If you've got any queries, this is the email that you need to contact us. So once you've done that, have a read of the question, select the answer that you think is right, then it'll tell you if you got it right or wrong. It will give you something to read, the explanation. Once you've done that, then it will take you to the relevant page to read the guideline in more depth, okay? Once you've done that, that's the question of the day. Then you've got a section of online revision questions. So you need to log in. So log in. And once you log in and start, again, it will ask you for your name. Mine here. I'll put the eMedica one. Now, the reason it's important to use the same email every time is that one of the things that we do is the first 2/3 of the program, we track data from every single bit of work that you do so we can build a picture. And in the last third of the program, we're going to send each of you a different tailored revision plan to make sure that the areas that you need more support on, you're going to get extra questions and extra work on. So you'll get a different program for that last part, okay? So when you're doing the questions, each set has got 20 questions, okay? So when you answer a question, read the explanation, move on. All the way through. When you get to the 20th one, after you've answered the 20th one, it will automatically send us your score and your email so we can track your data, okay? Then there's some case cards to read. So if you've got your physical case cards, great, read those. Let's say you're out and about, you're on the ward, you haven't got the physical ones, but you can always use the online one, okay? So put it into full screen mode here. Okay, so on the first email, you're going to do number 1 and number 2. Okay, so number 1, number 2. All right. Once you've done that, you've got some links for the reading for that day. So we use different sources. Some days there's less, some days there's more, depending on the topic and how long it's going to take to cover it. So, here, for example, we've got depression and we've got antidepressant drugs, which is related. Okay. So once you've done that, that's your daily tasks done. You've got to get all of those done before the next email hits. So within 24 hours. Alongside that, you've got weekly tasks. And see, each of those have a submission deadline. So you've got until the 19th of April. So we've actually given you slightly more than a week because we're starting on the 10th. It's actually 9 days nearly for that first set of weekly tasks. And they're different tasks here, okay? So with these, the way you submit them, click the submit button, put your name and email, and you will have done the work. You have created a document. You're going to upload that document using this, okay? So when we are on a weekday, that's what it looks like. I'm just going to show you one of the weekend emails because the weekends we give you more work. So we'll have one here. Okay, but essentially on the weekend, there'll be 2 sets of online revision questions rather than 1 set of online revision questions. So there's slightly more work because of the weekend. Okay, so that's how you do it. Start at the top, work your way down to the bottom, get all the daily tasks done before the next email hits. And then the weekly tasks, they're different each week. You've got a set deadline. You have to submit those to us. Okay, so that's how the program works. Any questions, please ask them in the Q&A. And what I'm going to do is we're going to come back and answer those questions. But before that, I want to summarize 3 really important keys to success. And those that haven't got questions will be finished at 8:30. And then I'll hang around to answer any questions if Anna hasn't already dealt with them. So the 3 things that I would add to what Anna's already said that are going to be the keys to you succeeding. The first is that mindset really matters. Michael Corder said that to succeed, we must first believe that we can. You need to put everything that you have experienced before with AKT, because a lot of people join a program like this because maybe they've failed once or failed multiple times. Other people join because they're sitting for the first time and they just like the idea of having structure and guidance because they don't want to have to sit it multiple times, okay? But especially if you've sat it before, you need to put your experience in the past of, what didn't go well behind you and just start with, I can pass this exam because I'm committed to doing the work and this program is going to guide me to get there. I will work hard and I will pass. Because if your mindset from the beginning is that, oh, I had a horrible experience last time, this exam is impossible, I can't pass, it's not doable. You see, the minute that you start struggling with the topic, That negative mind frame means you actually won't take the learning in. You'll spiral downwards. So you need to change that mindset. You need to start from today, fresh. You need to believe that you can pass, because you can. Okay. The next thing is to be consistent. You need to find your rhythm, and it can take a few days. And I'll check back in the first live session, Hild 1. It's about a week into the program, and hopefully each of you have found your rhythm, and it's different for everyone. But you need to find a way to make sure that you're consistently doing all your daily tasks on time, because there is a huge difference in terms of learning, being able to revise things going into long-term memory, between doing a little bit of work every day for 90 days and not being consistent, and then trying to catch up and cram on the weekend when you're already tired from a long week of working, and trying to learn 7 days worth of material in one day. It just doesn't work. Okay, so you've got to find a rhythm. For some of you, that might mean making some sacrifices. It might mean, for example, that you have to get up a little bit earlier, so you at least do some of it before you go to work. Others, like I'm not a morning person, I wouldn't do that. I would have the sleep. I stay up late at night though. So it might be that you stay up a bit later to get it done, but you've got to get it done. It might mean that at lunch, you try and at least do some of the case cards, or you might do some of the reading, if you're getting the train, for example, if you commute. One way or another, you've got to find your rhythm to make sure you're consistently doing your work. Similarly, the weekly tasks, don't feel you've got to rush to do them on the day that they're set. But equally, if you're regularly waiting to the very last day, and on that day try to do the daily tasks and a whole week's worth of weekly tasks, you're going to struggle. So spread it out. Lastly, focus on the learning, not on your scores. Some of you are going to get some horrible scores. Online revision questions are harder in a lot of cases than other question banks. That's on purpose. It's because there's science behind it. So we know from research that you will remember better those things that you associate with a mistake, or where you got something wrong and then you learn it, than those that you get right first time. So we deliberately have harder questions. Why? Because they're there as a learning tool. All right. So don't worry about your scores. Every question you get wrong, you need to see it as an opportunity to learn. And it's good that I've covered this topic here. Okay. Because challenging questions are there to stimulate you to learn, to read up in depth. Okay. And so it's important that you have also a growth mindset, that if you get a question wrong, see it as an opportunity to learn. Whereas if you have a fixed mindset, or sometimes people call it a negative mindset, and you get one wrong and you start thinking, oh, these questions are impossible, this exam's impossible, it's unfair, I can't do it, you're not going to learn. You're going to be a block to your own progress, because when you're in that state, it's very difficult to actually take things on board. So it's really important that the good news is, if you do have a fixed mindset, or in the past had a negative mindset, you can change it to a growth mindset. It can be done. And we're going to train you on that. Okay. By you consistently doing hard questions and learning from it, you'll see the benefits of it. Okay. So those three things, have a positive attitude from the beginning that you can and you will pass if you do the work. Be consistent. It's hard work. So do the work and do it on time. Like someone that goes to the gym every day and does a little bit of work is going to make more progress than someone that goes once a week and tries to go all out. They're more likely to have an injury. Okay. And then focus on the learning, not your scores. You will get the scores when you get to the exam.